Okay, this is going to be a really quick review on Forspoken, the video game. I have just completed it, and I gotta say, it's just okay. Let's talk about the good and the bad. The graphics are okay. Not the best I've seen, not the worst I've seen. There is some pop-up, and there is some, missed textures here and there, but it's okay. The character design is okay. She does have a knife on her back she never uses. The voice acting's okay, the storyline's okay. The characters are also okay. There's a few likable ones, but most of them are just kind of forgettable. The plot was pretty predictable and set maybe a few twists here and there. The open world is also kind of cool, but also just okay. It gets very boring and generic after a while because it's just hey, do this at this certain thing, and then do this at this other thing that looks exactly like this other thing. Basically, it's just a bunch of repeated buildings and repeated missions to do in different areas that look slightly different than themselves. I should say that looks slightly different from themselves. Every safe house looks the same. Every tower looks the same. The scenery's okay, but most of the stuff is just generic rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. You can collect stuff to craft, and it's almost absolutely useless. Half the stuff doesn't even work to craft unless you have the right material, unless you have the right thing to craft it with, so it's whatever, I guess. The crafting system is very meh. There's also these cats that you can collect that are pretty cool, but they're just collectibles. I thought they would help you at the end of the fight, the main fight. You know, when the whole series was done and you fought the main bad guy, I thought these cats would help you because they all had superpowers. But no, they're just there to look cool, I guess. So I wasted a bunch of time collecting all these cats, but I don't mind it, I guess. I do like the cats. I found it very tedious collecting everything, by the way. The speed you run at is not fast enough, so luckily there is fast travel. And to be honest, most things are just not worth to go and do anyways. Most of the time, I just found myself running past enemies because it was just kind of boring. And all the boss fights were very similar. Some were harder than others, obviously, but very similar nonetheless. The enemies were all the same, pretty much. You get to see some different ones here and there, but then it just kind of repeats itself over and over again. And I gotta say, the worst part about the game is how long it takes to talk to you and Cuff after you talk to somebody. And what do I mean by this? I mean, sometimes you and Cuff, after you talk to somebody, will just stand there having a conversation about what you just had a conversation about. But you cannot skip this conversation, and you cannot move during this conversation. It is super annoying. You're just kind of standing there for at least a few seconds to a minute, just going yeah, I know, that's a weird conversation. It's just can't I walk and talk at the same time? No, you have to stand in that place until you're done talking. It's ridiculously annoying. I found the magic system pretty cool. It was pretty interesting. Although, there was sometimes where it was just hey, press these 2 buttons, press these 3 buttons together, then you can do this move. And a lot of the time it didn't work because it was buttons that were meant for something else, so you kind of had to press at the right time to make it work. So that was a bit annoying. There was some glitches here and there, obviously, but not too many. Nothing that was game breaking. Just all in all, it's a very average game, but I did like it to a certain extent. But the world could have been better, a lot better. It could have been less generic. It could have had more stuff, I'm saying. So all in all, I would say the game was okay. If I were to rate it 1 to 10, 10 being awesome, 1 being garbage, I'm going to say a 6, maybe a 6.5. Not a 5, not a 5 in the middle, but maybe a 6. Would I play it again? Probably, but I don't know. Maybe DLCs will be better. If they ever make a second one, maybe that will be better. Spoiler alert, Cuff is the bad guy. I feel he has potential to become a good guy or something like that, because at the end she does end up absorbing him, so I don't know. All in all, it's okay. I enjoyed it but at times I did get a little bit frustrated, And at times I did get kind of bored and kind of just like, this is kind of dragging on too much. Come on. Especially like just the open world itself was kind of just like, ugh, like get this out of here. It's just like everything is the same. Not to mention the story sometimes stop you from exploring the open world, which I hate in games. Like sometimes you'll go too far and all of a sudden it'll be like, hey, we're going the wrong way. Let's turn around. It's like, well, I wanted to go that way. Well, too bad. So yeah, that was also kind of annoying. But yeah, all in all, it's a pretty good game with a pretty average story. But all else, it's okay. What do you think of it?